68 After Dark. Welcome in, Field of 68 After Dark on a Tuesday, an awesome Tuesday of college basketball, January 27th edition of the show. Thanks for being with us here on YouTube. We're obviously on SiriusXM. I am John Martin, joined tonight by Jeff Goodman. Welcome back, Stanford Steve. You're back.
Pleasure to be along for the ride here, fellas. I was getting some text. Goodman said he needs some positivity amongst the negativity, so I'm here. Optimism. We want optimism.
Yeah. We were worried we'd run you off, so it's good to have you back. Top 5 matchup in the Big Ten tonight. One unbeaten streak goes down, and we're watching one potentially cling to life here as we speak. Another unbeaten streak clinging to life with Miami, Ohio. We're going to catch up with Dusty May from Michigan here in just a moment. But Stanford Steve, going to start with you. This Michigan team enters tonight as a 12-point favorite. Nebraska, no Braden Frager, no Rick Mast, and man, they battled. They led for 36-plus minutes in this game. Michigan does find a way to shut them off in the second half from 3. But just your thoughts on this game, how Nebraska showed, and obviously Michigan finding a way to get this done.
Yeah, I believe Michigan's in the top tier of any team in the country. When you're looking at all the teams, I really believe they deserve that. And I thought the totality of what they bring to the table resonated late in the game. I thought they wore Nebraska down. You mentioned the shooting numbers, the defensive side. There's so much size. I thought Mara had a monster rebound, late in that game where he goes to the line, he makes a big one. The great teams don't care who carries them or who scores, right? And you just saw that. I mean, Nebraska comes out and makes 10 threes in the first half. They average 10 a game. And Michigan's fine. Yep. They're down 50-48. That's why I can't wait to talk to Coach and just ask him about halftime and what changed from what he thought going into the game to, seeing Nebraska on tape and then, see him for 20 minutes. But everything Michigan has, you saw tonight, and I thought it was big time, man. They got some big time guys. They stepped up. They never got discouraged by Nebraska's shooting and stayed in the fight and overcame adversity. I think they led, They led 3-2, and then they led 74-72. So they stayed in it. It was really, really cool to watch in a big time game.
Yeah,
Can I say I was more impressed with Nebraska tonight before Dusty
Sure.
comes on and he I think he would agree even. I mean, Nebraska, you're down 2 of your top players. You go into Ann Arbor and you have a chance to win. You have them on the ropes. So I actually do want to bring in Dusty May now and ask him a little bit about that, how impressed he was by Nebraska. Because, Dusty, I just said it. Sometimes you're more impressed with a team that loses than you are with a team that wins. And part of it is our expectations for Nebraska this year, right? They came out of the gates, and I called them a cute story like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm not calling them cute anymore. But I thought tonight, down 2 guys like this, to fight you guys till the end in Ann Arbor and have you guys on the ropes was damn impressive.
Yeah, Jeff, to be honest, when Mast went out, obviously we knew that would hurt them, but us guarding 2 bigs on the floor, and we had a different type of game plan. As soon as we saw that they were going small, we thought, man, this is going to be difficult. And Lawrence came out and put on a show in the first half. And I don't think there's a cutter in college basketball that puts in the mileage. I'd love to put a GPS tracker on Sandiford. There's never a moment he's not in motion. His concentration, his antennas are up for every minute that he's on the court. And he just provides so much leverage and gravity for everyone on the court because you're so concerned with him out to 27 feet. And so they presented a number of challenges. Then defensively, they're so well schooled in their system that if you try to attack the first side, they punish you. So very, very impressed with their team. They were undefeated. I mean, they haven't lost in a long time. And there's a reason for that. They're old. They have elite point guard play from Hoiberg. Obviously our league has great point guards, Elliot Cadeau, Bennett Sturts, all these guys, Braden Smith, obviously, and Fears. But man, Hoiberg is, we learned firsthand that guy understands how to run a basketball team.
Dusty, 19-1. Obviously all wins are not created equally, and they don't all happen the same way. Earlier in the year, you guys were just killing everybody, and you're getting into February now, and the games are becoming a little bit more high leverage. And just how valuable is it for you to have a game like this? Obviously, you want to win every game by 30, but we know that's not the reality. So to be down for 36 plus minutes and your team still find a way to get the win, how valuable of a win is that for you and your group?
Well, I thought it was incredibly valuable. The things that I learned about our group tonight, and we learned something from the opponent, and we learned something about ourselves every game, good or bad. But things weren't going well. I think Namari and Yaks were 0 for 10 from 3. Elliott and LJ combined 11 turnovers. So obviously things weren't going well as a group and individually. But it just seemed like the last 5 minutes when you can block all that out and just be consumed with finding any way to win the game, then it's going to prove dividends. And then our free throw shooting down the stretch was elite. I thought Trey McKinney stepped up, made 3. Will Cheddar made 2. Morez Johnson made several. And when you're shooting free throws down 5, 6, 7 points late in the game against a top 5 team, there's a lot of pressure on each one. So I think that gives us confidence going forward that when we step up in those pressure packed moments, that we can knock them down. But it's when everyone looked at our team going into this, there were some concerns, and it's almost like what were the concerns are now coming to the surface. And so now we've got to find some different solutions. But man, it's nice to know you can find a way to win when the ball's not going in for you. And it hasn't gone in for us the last couple games.
Coach, plenty of people were anticipating this game as you're watching Nebraska on tape, and you see how smooth they are and how easily they put the ball in the basket. And then they come into your building and they put up 50 in the first half. What changed from your message pregame going into halftime? I mean, you mentioned Stanford running around screens. You really hurried him up. And that's hard to do with how quick of a release he is. But Mara at the top of the key, I thought in a huge instant, hurried him up. Was there a sense of urgency on the defense? Did you want to run at him more? What was said?
Yeah, to be honest, I thought in the first half when you have a better view of your defense right in front of you, there were times when we just let our guard down for a split second or half a second. And the way they screen and they cut, that's more than enough. And they get it, like when they catch and shoot, it's out of their hands quick. Their raise is as quick as Sanford's raise, Lawrence's ability to shoot off the bounce and get out of his hand quick and elevate. And in Burke, I'm gonna stick with his first name. He's as good of a screener as we've played this year. And now he's a hub where he's not sharing those minutes with Mast, and he's able just to play 5 out. And he's an elite passer, good dribbler. There's zero cutting to the rim, and I do think we were able to push their catches out. We were able to be a little more disruptive in the second half, and it was called much more physically. They let us play much more physically in the second half. So I think both teams adjusted, and we were able to come up with some loose basketballs and rebounds. Ultimately, I think that was the difference in the game. And, Elliott and Trey McKinney's chase down, steal from behind. Will Cheddar winning a 50-50 ball. Yaxel Lindenberg with the big offensive rebound late, knocking down 2 free throws. For us to make those type of hustle plays when it looked bleak is a testament to our guys and their resolve.
Dusty, do you like the fact that now you're not you're still the hunted, obviously, but Arizona is clearly the number 1 team in America today, where a couple of weeks ago it was like 1A, 1B. Who is it? Arizona, is it Michigan? Do you kind of like it now that you're not in that top spot and everybody's kind of talking about Arizona as the team as you kind of go on the second half of league play?
By nature, I like it either way. I liked it before. I like it now. Whatever it is, it's how do we learn, how do we grow, and how do we take it for what it is? It's just it's something that this group has created by playing so well early in the season that it's not going to be good enough until we're able to cut down some nets and so that's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It just is what it is. And once again, we're not going to sit here and complain about things we have no control over. We've got to start playing better, though. We've got to learn from all these things that we're going through now and make sure that we stay the course, because the Big Ten season is like all these high major leagues. It's a battle of competitive endurance and stamina, and who has the best stamina and endurance is going to find a way to win, because there's so much parity. Obviously the talent is judged so differently in our sport that, we look at athleticism and we value that from a spectator much more than we value shooting and passing, things like that. So there's just so many good teams, and it's who are the teams that can find a way to win that particular night. And hopefully we're evolving into one of those teams.
I don't know if Steve, did you have anything else just so we can kind of wrap this up?
I mean, I just wanted to thought on Friday night, Coach. You're here now.
Man.
Everybody's waiting. Another big one around the corner. Just about as you're envisioning this game, tonight going to Nebraska, it's going to be a 40-minute game. You got 9 guys play double-digit minutes. Is that the hope moving forward? Is that the goal of everybody, to keep everybody up at that minute level?
Well, we have some guys that typically play a few more minutes that didn't play their A game tonight. And so each game is going to be different. I think Trey McKinney, a freshman, is evolving into a real steady presence for us. And so I think each night with our group, it's going to be out of those 9, which 5 are going to be able to finish a game and make the plays based on what that game needed. Will Cheddar finished. He played majority of the minutes down the stretch for us tonight and made 7 key points. It came up with 7 big points for us. So I think we're just a team that's wired where if we need to play a little bit smaller, we could go with one of the 5s. Offensively, it's tough because Merez and Adai are so good. You don't ever get a chance to use Yaks at that spacing small ball 5, but it's difficult to not have Adai or Rez in the game, especially both of them.
Hey, Dusty, only with
problem.
Jeff Goodman.
Yeah.
Only with Jeff Goodman do you win a top 5 matchup and have to talk about first the other team that you beat. Only with Jeff Goodman is that the case. So apologize on his behalf.
John, I don't know if you knew, but today it came out in a poll of all the coaches that Michigan is the best job in the Big Ten per all the coaches. Anonymous poll. What do you think about that, Dusty, before we let you go?
I'm honestly very honored to be the coach of Michigan, and our brand is awesome. It's the best job for me and my staff. I will say that. Jobs are gauged differently. I do think we're living in a really cool era. Like, I took a folklore class in college, and at Indiana, you're looking for any non-core class to take. This is a modern example that the lore that goes around with NIL and all these things, it's pretty entertaining. And so we've spun off into a whole subsect. So yeah, I do wish they could just strap us all up to lie detector tests and say, hey, let's put it all on the table. I welcome that. But yeah, but yeah, very, very grateful that the coaches nominated us as the best job. Hopefully when we're battling in recruiting, that sentiment is shared then as well.
Hey, could you have gotten
Hey, Dusty, appreciate it, man. Congrats on the win.
Could your grades have gotten into Michigan? That's what I want to know. Could you have gotten into Michigan? Could you have gotten into Michigan?
I could have gotten into Michigan back then. Getting into Michigan now is 0 chance. I wouldn't even apply. I would have saved my money. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. That's Michigan coach. By the way, you are crazy as hell, man. I mean, every time I do this show with you, well, I just remember – it's something about when the Michigan guys come on, because last time we did a show with Michigan, it was Gonzaga. You asked Graham Ike, he had some big win, and you asked him about getting his ass kicked by Michigan the game before after a big win, and then you asked Dusty May about the other team that he just beat. I mean, that's insane.
Wasn't it impressive though? I mean, we just talked about Michigan a lot.
It's just not the lead. I just question your news judgment.
No, I think it actually is the lead. I actually think it is the lead. Nebraska is a force to be reckoned with right now. And I think after tonight, I look at Nebraska differently. I look at them as a legitimate Final Four contender after tonight, because they were down again 2 of their top players. And they had a chance to beat a Michigan team that we've talked about for weeks here, all season long, really, since Vegas, as maybe a national title favorite, or certainly co-favorite at this point. So, what Fred Hoiberg has done with this team, and he's a hell of a coach. I mean, we've known that since Iowa State. He goes to the Bulls. Gar Forman gives him a bunch of guys that, frankly, didn't fit his system in Chicago. Gave him a bunch of defensive-minded, Rondo and Jimmy Butler, and it was a shit show over there. And Now he's got it going at Nebraska. So I love it for Fred. I love it for Fred.
Yeah, it obviously was a very impressive performance given what they were down. But I'm just going to come back to you because Stanford Steve started with it, Jeff. I mean, he said that, I don't want to misquote you, Steve, that they're in the not by themselves, but a tier.
No.
They're in that top tier.
Yep.
And so, would you agree? I know because you're glazing Nebraska, so I hate to interrupt that, but would you agree with Stanford Steve that Michigan is in that? Because I actually do think there are things that they do that kind of give me some doubts. But would you agree with Stanford Steve they're in that championship tier?
I think there are probably 3 teams in the top tier for me today, and that is Arizona, Michigan, and UConn. And I know UConn hasn't looked good lately. And I would love to get Hurley on here to explain what's going on with them a little bit. But he'd probably talk about how great a coach Kim English is at Providence, because that's what he did tonight after the game, just to make sure Kim maybe sticks around a little bit longer. But I do think those are the 3 teams that I have the most confidence in today. Now, that could change. I mean, obviously, we got a long way to go here.
Yeah. Steve, just a word from you on, this effort from Nebraska. I mean, they come in as a 12-point dog. I guess in college basketball, you kind of see it more than you would maybe the NBA. But when you lose 2 starters, sometimes you do tend to get the best. I mean, this was a very resilient performance from them on the road.
No doubt. And I thought they did exactly what you need to do when you go on the road. Like, they were the aggressor. They fired away from 3. They put the pressure on Michigan. And that's that, going back to Michigan quickly, it's like they score really easily, and they needed to tonight to be in the game with Nebraska because of the difference in 3 balls. But yeah, they're here, man. I know Goodman's caught up in his Indiana Hoosiers still from Cignetti winning a national title and going undefeated, but I always like when teams lose. The undefeated thing, Miami of Ohio just won again. Shout out to them. But at some point, man, it gets a little too much, whereas the goal is so far away at the end of March, early April, that I do think this is very, very good for Nebraska.
Yeah, congratulations to Miami, Ohio. So we're down to 2. We're down to 2 unbeaten streaks in college basketball. And by the way, Indiana got a nice win that we will discuss
For sure.
a little bit later in the show. Kentucky, absolute beatdown in Nashville. Is Vandy back? I know people were wondering, they kind of had fallen off the last couple of weeks. This was about to ass in Nashville, so we'll break it all down. By the way, Road Hogs. Everybody said Coach Cal's teams go on the road. They don't remember who they are. Big time win for them in Norman. We'll get into all of that today on the show. Stick around. Field 68 After Dark.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. If you're not a member of the Field of 68's On3 community, make sure to go check us out. Get access to all of Jeff Goodman and Rob Doster's written content, including coaching carousel breakdowns, info on who is and isn't entering the transfer portal, insider recruiting information from none other than Joe Tipton, X's and O's analysis of all the teams in college basketball, and access to our message board community. A 7-day trial costs you $1. The Field of 68 on 3. Get the scoop.
Welcome back, Field of 68 After Dark, Tuesday, January 27th edition of the show. Thanks for being with us. We're on YouTube. We're on SiriusXM. Jeff Goodman, Stanford Steve, John Martin here with you tonight. Hey, all it took was just Curt Cignetti coming out pregame and just getting everybody fired up. Indiana, they looked dead about a week or two ago. They had lost 4 in a row. Don't look now. They've won 2 in a row, including tonight at home against Purdue, a ranked win as 4.5-point dogs. Jeff Goodman, was this the Cignetti bump? Can we just give this credit all to Sig for this win?
I think so. I mean, I think it helps. It helps to put some kind of energy in that building at Assembly Hall, doesn't it? Throw him in there, throw the national champs in there, and all of a sudden, I do think, if you are a basketball player, how do you not play effing hard when you see those guys watching you, right? And they came out, they were the tougher team. They were clearly the tougher team tonight. That is, to me, and again, the beauty of Purdue, if you're Indiana, one of the things that really hurts this Indiana team is they're not the most athletic team in the world. And you know who else isn't? Purdue. Yeah. So I think the matchup actually is more favorable than a lot of matchups in this league for the Hoosiers. But again, they came out, they knew this was kind of their time to make a statement this year. They hadn't had a resume win. Purdue lost 2 in a row, right? And the way they've lost them, Fletcher Lawyer hasn't played great. So I think this was huge for Indiana. Huge.
Yeah, I mean, Steve, they have to be on the right side of the bubble at this point. Or I mean, they're dangerously close if they're not on the right side by now.
Yeah, I think when you look at what they bring to the table, Jeff pointed out, they're not athletic, but like I just look at rebounding with Purdue, with the bigs, they hang with them. Purdue out rebounds them 24-22. That's good enough. Purdue, I just look at them now. It's 3 in a row. That the crazy loss at UCLA, and then you come back and Illinois comes into your building and has a performance of a lifetime, and now you got to go back on the road. And they weren't good enough. They shot 53% from the line, 35 from 3. Like, that's not Purdue to me when I think of Painter and how buttoned up they are. They did get back in the game when they were down double digits in the second half. I just want more from Purdue. Yeah. And, it's the middle of the season. We're getting to the end of the first round of conference play. So it's a hell of a win for Indiana, much needed. It gets them to 5-5 in the Big Ten. I would say they are on the right side if we're going to talk bubble for sure. With a win like that, that's when I start looking at who'd you beat. That's a big time win for me. I know Purdue's lost 2 in a row, but that's still a damn good team.
Steve, you know how like when you bet on a team or like a football game and you turn on ESPN, they got the studio show on and the entire panel picks the winner. And if everybody has the same team, you're like,
save the graphic.
Shit. We have a special. I'm going to come back to this. We have a special guest. Is that right?
We do. All right, there he is.
What's happening?
Oh,
what's up, Curt? How are you?
You guys wrote me into this.
We got you for about 2 minutes. Hey, first of all, congrats, man. Second of all,
I saw a basketball game tonight.
You did. I just said I wonder too think about it. If you're a basketball player and you see you guys watching tonight, doesn't it hopefully give you a little bit of extra oomph? Hopefully, maybe.
I don't know. There are 18,000 people, and it's hard to pick out 2 or 3 guys. You know what I mean?
They knew you were there, Curt. Trust me, they knew you were there. They knew the trophy was there.
The plays they had to make, and they were scrappy and got after it.
Hey, Coach, just seeing. Go ahead.
Yeah, how important do you think this win was for them? I know you followed them from afar. You've been pretty busy doing your own thing, but obviously they needed a resume win. How important do you think this win was for them tonight?
Yeah, I follow them from very far because we've been kind of busy. And I know they were 13-7 going. But, it's a rival game. I mean, and if I'm not mistaken, Purdue was ranked number 1 in the country on 1 or 2 preseason polls going in. If not 1, very, very highly. So it's a great win against a program that's been, tremendous. And, hopefully that gives the basketball team program a good shot in the arm here to finish real strong.
Coach, how much fun has it been seeing the country fall in love with Fernando? He's doing all the Good Morning Americas now. Like, it just feels like the whole country is really falling in love with that kid.
Yeah, well, it's hard not to. He's the All-American guy, and then, he says all the right things in his interview, and he's extremely intelligent. He's deep, and he can be. He's just an extraordinary guy, but he competes like a warrior too. He goes out there and lays it on the line, and he's a big part of our story, which a lot of people look at our story and say it's pretty remarkable.
Coach, did you give as much thought to the speech to the crowd tonight as you did the day you got hired?
Yeah, about the same amount. Went out there and winged it. I thought about repeating a couple phrases, but I thought,
we were waiting for it. We were waiting for it.
One of the guys that's been here a long time, Mark Deal. He's been here since like 1965. He actually brought the bucket with him. To bring out with it. I said, Mark, we're a little beyond that now. We're just taking a national championship trophy.
124-3, you beat that team 2 years.
What's that?
You beat them 122-3 in 2 years. You beat them. They don't need to see the bucket. Yeah, they know where it belongs.
I wanted to hear you say it again.
Hey,
all right, you guys have fun tonight.
Appreciate
okay?
it, Curt. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Congrats again,
Great,
and we'll talk soon. Thanks, man.
Bye.
That's awesome. Curt Cignetti, man. What a coach and what a guy. Good work, Jeff. Good work, finally. Your Indiana roots paid off here.
I don't know about that, but he is a good dude.
That was
He's
awesome.
a good dude. And
no.
I still go back to, guys, when I sat down with him in his office before his first season, and we're talking, and I say to him, I go, if you guys go like 3-2 in your first 5, like you'd sign on the dotted line right now for that. And he just stares at me. He literally stares at me. I'm like, what? He's like, we're not going 3-2. Like, what are you kidding me? We're going 5-0. And I walked out of that conversation, that 20-minute conversation, thinking, this dude's out of his effing mind. Does he know he's at Indiana? Like, he's at Indiana. And what he's done in 2 years, again, Steve, you follow both. John, you follow both college football and college hoops. Nothing has ever been done like this in college sports history, ever. This type of flip in 2 years has never been done and will never be done again.
No, the way they did it, they earned it. Like that's what it gets lost. It's just like, oh, this pretty little story, and they got a quarterback that's a Heisman Trophy winner. I'm like, look at the resume. Look who they beat this year. Everybody talked about last year, they were paper tigers because they didn't have any good wins. You don't think he used that as motivation this year? Look at the road to the playoffs. Start with the Big Ten title game. I mean, that's as impressive a run as we'll see. So that's what my favorite thing about it is how they earned it, and they went through everybody. So all hats off to them, man. It was as a fun a ride to be along and follow as I've ever seen in person. And like I said, the way they did it was so impressive.
Absolutely. But Steve, I want to come back to you on the point that I was making before Coach jumped on. You have a bet on a football team. You turn on ESPN, the studio show.
Yep.
The entire panel picks the same. You think you're absolutely cooked. That was I'm pretty sure the field of 68 in the preseason. Every single panelist had Purdue in the Final Four. That's what I'm bringing up. So are they doomed? And I think that's kind of the question that I'm asking now. And I believe in Matt Painter. I believe in the 2 All-Americans, but I'm a little worried that maybe there's not quite enough here.
Yeah, I think it goes back to Jeff's thing about the expectations. When you are preseason number 1, and what did they go to? Was that the Bahamas? They went and drilled Texas Tech by 30. And they look everything is going well. I think Kaufman-Wren is the whole key to the thing. I mentioned only 5 of 10 from the line tonight. And when I still had 23. I get it, but he's got to be 23 every single night. And that's where I feel like it's been a little bit off because the other guys feed off of him. Jeff pointed out Lawyer not shooting it great. I'm going to take my shot with Braden Smith. I wonder if he's 100%. You saw him roll that ankle at the end of the Illinois game. But I'm with you. I trust Painter. He's still playing 9 guys. I really like the kid Mayer, 17. I think he brings a lot to the table because, again, a lot like Michigan with Nebraska on Saturday, they were keeping track with Illinois as the kids go crazy, scoring 40 plus. They're right in that game. So I think it's just fine tuning some things that I wouldn't put too many people above Painter in doing. So I believe plenty in this Purdue team.
Yeah. Last word on this. We'll move on. Are you on that wave, Jeff? Is this a Final Four team to you?
Can I give you some numbers on Fletcher Lawyer, by the way, and his 4 losses? In their 4 losses so far, he's averaging 6 points a game in the 4 losses. He's 8 for 33 from the field. He's 5 for 20 from 3. He's the X factor. Yeah, you're right about Trey Coppman-Wren. Like, you're right, but you could get away with an off game from Trey Coppman-Wren
more from others. I got you.
If Clough is a man, right? If Clough is a man and he goes for a double-double, you can get away with it. You cannot get away with Fletcher Lawyer shooting that type of percentage. You can't. You're not going to beat teams like even Indiana on the road. And Indiana's been a very average, mediocre team so far this year. That's what they've been for the most part. Haven't had that statement win. You know, again, those guys aren't healthy. You can see it. Like, Braden's not dominant like he usually is. Trey Coppman-Wren, I think Trey Coppman-Wren, you could see it on his face that he's not healthy. Like, he has no swag. Like, there's nothing there. He just doesn't look like the same player at all. And part of it is he's playing the 4 now.
Yeah.
And it's tougher for him in a way. At the 5, he was able to really use his quickness to score. Now it's a little bit more difficult playing the 4 because you got those quicker dudes defending. You can't put it on the floor and get by them and make your move. And you don't have the room to operate in the post either. You had all the room in the world and all the time in the world last year to operate in the post. Now he doesn't have that. So it's different. I haven't given up on Purdue. I still think they can be a Final Four team. And remember, most every team goes through something like this. I mean, remember UConn in their first run. In their first run, they went through a stretch a lot worse than this.
Right. But the bar is so high. I mean, so it's all relative. It's all relative to the excellence that. So I know Purdue fans will find a way to twist this, but it's all relative to. I do think we have this conversation about Fletcher Lawyer pretty much annually at this point, though. Like, I don't even know. I don't really think he's the X factor so much as he's like the thermostat. Like, you know, when he's on, that temperature's up, and when he's that, you know, so I don't know. I think they really rely on him as that sometimes primary scorer.
Soft tonight. Can I say that too? I thought Purdue looked soft tonight. I do. I think they got out toughed, which is really crazy. And even against Illinois, I think they got out toughed. Like, I just think this is a team you're used to out toughing other teams. And right now, they don't come out and like out physical you. And again, I know Braden and Fletcher aren't the most like physically imposing, but you got Clough, who's a man in there. You got Trey Coppman-Wren, who's a man in there. Like, I don't know. They just don't look right.
All right, you can take that hat off now.
Yeah, thank you. It's off. I got a haircut for you, John, today. Can you tell?
Yeah, you've never looked better.
Thank you.
Turkey. I think you can get the turkey pretty quick, and they'll get you in and out over there, and it's much cheaper. All right, do you have a Vandy hat?
I do.
Where's the Vandy hat? Let's go.
Yeah,
Put the Vandy hat on. They deserve it.
It's ready. Yeah, there you
Just
go.
when I was kind of starting to, I was like,
Vandy's back.
It was weird with Kentucky because I'm like, you know, you look up and they won like 5 in a row. You know, our nightly, you know, take a dump on Kentucky segments had finally taken a breath. But you know, this was a tough ask to go on the road to Vandy, which can be the house of horrors, and that's exactly what it was. They never had a chance in this one, Stanford Steve. Vandy and that offense was just relentless tonight.
Yeah, I just look at the situation again. You know, they had those 3 straight losses. They get Mississippi State, beat them. I think it was almost identical scores, 80-56, 86-56. Tonight, 80-55.
Yep.
When, you know, you look at Vandy, they're a nice, you know, pleasant story coming out, and where the SEC, none of the top teams were playing well, and I still think it made everybody confused about, all right, well, who is it? in the SEC. A&M's in first place. Like no one had that one. So Vanderbilt comes out and has the, long undefeated streak, get it, handed to him by Texas. And I thought, what is a gotta have it moment for Texas? So it was good to see them get their feet right. I think there's plenty of juice in the place. There's plenty of weather issues in Nashville. But, seeing people that were there talk about how juiced up it was, I thought it was a big get for Vandy. They know how fired up they are when Kentucky comes in, as is every arena when Kentucky comes in. But this was more about Vandy and how they put the ball in the basket and made it look easy. Never was in doubt, cruised out early. I think Kentucky started 4 of 22. And they were down 29-12. Like they're
0 for their first 7. They're 0 for their first 7 and missed 2 free throws. And you don't take yourself a hole like that on the road. Not at Memorial. And by the way,
not against Mark Byington.
By the way, have you guys been to that? Have you been to the new facility?
Byington. Why didn't we ask Sig about Byington? He could have given us some good insight from their JMU days. The difference, Steve, I think the difference is Vandy has not only a point guard, they have an elite level point guard and Tyler Tanner, and Kentucky doesn't have a point guard. It was going to catch up with them. Like look at who they beat. Look at who Kentucky beat over this 5-game stretch. And a lot of it, other than the Tennessee win, was just kind of like, and even the Tennessee win. Like, I think Tennessee's a good team, but they're not what they've been. So to me, Kentucky beat the teams they needed to beat for the most part. That LSU game, LSU's not very good, and they had to come back from whatever it was, 17, 18, 19 down to beat LSU. So this was one I thought was coming at some point, and this was the night.
Have you guys been to the new Vandy Hoops facility?
No. I want to get there.
Buddy.
Awesome.
It's unbelievable. I put it up against anywhere in the country.
I've been there. I just haven't been through it all. I actually was there for the NCAA for the SEC tournament last year and did our show on Selection Sunday. So I've been to the offices, which are beautiful, right overlooking the
football
done
now.
stadium there.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah.
They got everything.
It's a little embarrassing for me. I'm in Memphis, so I really have no excuse not to get over there.
No, but you're busy. You're busy watching
I'm trying to rescue the Tigers right now, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to save the Penny Hardaway era every day. Okay.
Good luck. Good luck.
By the way,
go put a lifesaver on them.
Yeah, no, it's a 24-hour job. I will say, you mentioned they have one. They really have 2 point guards. That's what makes Vandy special, because Duke Miles is basically a point guard,
and he was hurt.
He
didn't play tonight. That's
I'm just saying.
Part. I know Kentucky's shorthanded too, so I'm not.
Right.
Listen, I'm not saying anything about that, but Duke Miles has been their not their best player. Tyler Tanner is clearly their best player, but Duke Miles has been their leading scorer through the year, and a great transfer addition that I don't think a lot of people saw coming from High Point, then Oklahoma, and now he's thriving in Nashville.
Stanford Steve on Kentucky. I don't want to call it a dead cat bounce. Some of those wins were good wins, if not, even if they were against the middle to bottom of the SEC. That road win at Knoxville was super impressive, especially the way it happened. Where's the arrow pointing on this team? Up, down, neutral? Where are we at?
What was it? A month ago, watching you guys on here. I'm not saying specifically you two, but like it was literally was Kentucky a tournament team. When in again, a back against the wall situation where they come out, they ripped off four in a row, 5 in a row.
Yep.
To Jeff's point, there's some bad of the SEC mixed in there, but you get a road win at Tennessee, that's gonna be a very good win at the end of the year. I promise you that. And now you go to Arkansas, Saturday? So it's they're up against it, but you've seen them pull through now that they've faced adversity. You just don't want to see nights like tonight. That's what really gets everybody agitated, I believe, is when you come out, and we talked about the shooting numbers on the road, and you're not even in the game. And then you have a game where you're, hanging around against Tennessee and you pull it off late. Like, which one is it? I still, lean towards the good. I believe in Pope and what he's done. From where they were and how he was talking at the beginning of the season, they're a hell of a lot better than they were then.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get to Arkansas and that matchup a little bit later in the show. We got to get to UConn. UConn survives one of the great up and comers, according to Dan Hurley, Kim English. So we'll touch on that.
What was the quote? I got to get the quote.
How about you get Rob Doster's quote? How about you get Rob Doster's quote, which is an unbelievable endorsement, which is Kim's tried. I really don't. If somebody's ever giving an endorsement of me and they say I tried, I must have really done a shitty job.
I've said that about you. I've actually said that about you after some of your hosting experiences. So.
He tried. That's what Rob said about Kim English. So we'll get to that. Arkansas gets a win on the road. Hard game, according to Coach Kyle. All that and more on the other side. Field of 68 after dark.
As you know by now, we have teamed up with BetMGM again this season. We'll be using BetMGM lines to make all of our picks, and we will have special offers for Field of 68 fans, including same-game parlays, best-in-class live betting, and daily odds boost. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD to get up to a $1,500 first bet offer on your first wager with BetMGM. Here's how it works. You download the BetMGM app, you sign up using bonus code FIELD, you deposit at least $10 and place your first wager on any game, and you receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your bet loses. Just make sure you use that bonus code FIELD when you sign up. Make this college basketball season one for the history books. Make it legendary. And don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code FIELD and get your $1,500 first bet offer today.
Are you trying to follow everything happening in college basketball? It can be overwhelming. That's where the Field of 68 Daily comes into play. The Daily is your go-to source for recruiting news, game analysis, portal updates, and much, much more. For just $50 a year, you get access to the same information that your favorite coaching staff is subscribed to. Quality content can be hard to find in the college basketball space. The Daily is here to help. Make sure you subscribe today.
Welcome back. Field of 68 After Dark, Tuesday, January 27th edition of the show. Thanks for being with us. We're on YouTube. We're on Sirius XM. We are on X. John Martin, Jeff Goodman, Stanford Steve here with you tonight. Couple more games we need to hit on before we get to toast, and then we'll obviously anything we miss, which will probably be a lot, we'll get to in the afters. But how about a shout for Tom Izzo on the road here? You know, this is when it gets tough. You're a 14-point favorite. You're on the road. You got a big game coming up this weekend. It's an underperforming Rutgers team. You know, you're basically laying 2 touchdowns. And Steve, they look kind of listless. I got to say, for a Tom Izzo team, they look pretty listless for the majority of this game. Do win in overtime, and that's what the good ones do.
Yeah. Listen, now that Rutgers is in the Big Ten for how many years, every one of the top tier teams has been in this instance, right? You got to go to Piscataway. You got a monster game coming up on the weekend. Piscataway's all jazzed up. Pikel's got his guys ready to go, and they come out shooting better than they have all year. But again, Michigan State stayed in it. I thought there were some tough calls that went against Rutgers. There was a flop by Fears on a screen with Zerno. He pushes off on the putback to make it 70-67. But they stayed in. I thought the play they ran with 17 seconds, down 3, and Raftery's doing the game saying, you know what, you still could go get a quick 2 here. And Fears does a great job of making it look like he's going right to the hoop. And then they got the screen off by the block. They kick it out, and they get the 3 ball, and it's tie game. And it's like, holy hell, this is going to overtime. I checked it because they hadn't been that all night. To start overtime, Michigan State was minus 270 on the money line. Wow. Minus 270 on the road in overtime. The idea of momentum in overtime, that tells you what you needed to know there. And Rutgers could never overcome it. But that's a big, gutsy win. I can only imagine what that halftime chat was like from Izzo. I'm sure we won't see that on the social media clips because the language won't be good enough. But they got it done, and it sets up for an awesome, awesome matchup Friday night.
It does. Michigan State, Michigan. Fears Fierce just commands the game so well, and you just feel like when the ball's in his hands, he's gonna make the right play. And even if it's not passing the ball, like he went in, drove in, missed the shot, got his own offensive putback down the stretch. Like he's so mentally and physically tough. Kohler wasn't good tonight. Kohler wasn't very good. Cooper was great in the glass, but listen, a road win's a road win, but let's put in perspective here. Like Rutgers is the worst Power 5 team in the country going in. Now I know it's the rack. I get it, but you got to come out with a little more energy than that if you're Michigan State. And, I think, the players other than Fears, I thought Kohler sleptwalked through this thing. And they got to get a little bit more consistent production from their wing, from somebody. Like one night it's Curt Tang, another night like it can be, Divine. Like they just don't have they still haven't figured that part out, and I'm not sure they're going to. And I think that's going to limit how far they can go in the tournament. I think they're a good team. Now, again, Tom Izzo's gotten to Final Fours without great talent. Let's be honest. He's done it before. So he can get there. I just don't know if they can win the whole thing, which is what, if you're Tom Izzo, it'd be cool to see Tom Izzo win another one and then go out. I just don't know if he's got enough this year.
Yeah, pretty amazing. I mean, they start the season 25th at Ken Palm. They got all the way up to 4. Unfortunately, you get dinged. You don't cover this number here at Ken Palm or the market, so you fall to 6. But still, I mean, who on earth thought this was a top 6 Ken Palm team before the season started?
Nobody.
I mean, that's just. I mean, we and that's the part of this that really does amaze me about Tom Izzo. You have so many coaches that are just like, I can't do this NIL era. I can't do this. Guys his age who have been in it and seen the before times, as I call them.
They've retired.
Tom Izzo ain't making no excuses.
They're retiring. They're not even in. Jay Wright's younger. Kay is a little bit older. Roy's a little bit older. But like those guys are all like, we don't want to deal with it. We're out. We're tapping out. Where Tom Izzo's like, I don't want to deal with it. F this. I'm not tapping out. Yeah. I'm not doing it.
He's scrapping. He's still scrapping. And he's doing it like – go ahead, Steve.
No, I was going to say, Izzo's Izzo. He's going to go, cry poor mouth in the press conferences, but you bet your ass when it comes down to it in the locker room with his guys, he's going to have his guys ready. There's no doubt with him. The one question I do have – I think Braden Smith is as valuable to Purdue as Fears is. He's averaging 30.5 minutes a game. Tonight's the most he played is 36, and it's the first time all year he had 4 fouls. I just think if he gets into any kind of trouble, they're toast.
Nothing else.
Absolutely.
He commands so much on that team.
Yeah, no doubt, no question. But I'll take him over. I mean, again, I know he can't really shoot. But, man, he does everything else. Everything else.
Yep, he truly does. So, nice win, I would say. It wasn't the prettiest, and nobody's going to talk about it, come tournament time. That was a nice win for Michigan State. I think
we just need to avoid those losses. It's not even about getting the – it's kind of like – and I know we'll get into this probably in the afters more, but it's Virginia tonight. Virginia, avoid the loss at Notre Dame. If you lose, again, they're in good shape, but you just got to avoid those and win. However ugly it is, it doesn't matter. Just get the W.
It's the landmines, right? That's what they are. I mean, Rutgers is a landmine, and they avoided it tonight. No doubt about that. I maybe would put Oklahoma in that category. Like they haven't won since 1967.
They got more talent.
Arkansas.
No, Oklahoma's got talent. They got talent.
Oh,
they should not be. What are they, 1 and 7?
It's an underachievement by Porter Moser.
Yeah, they should not be 1 in. I think they're 1 and 7. Am I wrong in the league? Is that wrong?
Yeah, this is. No, I think you're right. Yes, this is their 6th or 7th loss in a row.
Right. I mean, that team is way too – I thought they did a great job in the portal this offseason. I still kind of believe that. And, yeah, I don't think – I think Porter
they're
did a good coach.
they're
1-7
in the league. Yeah,
1-7 in the league. I mean, you can't be 1-7 with – I know they didn't have a ton of money necessarily, but they did a good job in the portal, and yeah, you got to win that game at home. But, man, I'll say this. How many guards, okay, how many guards? And there are actually a few because guard play is so good. Point guard play is probably the best we've seen in like 10 years overall in college basketball this year. But how many guards are you saying I'd rather have the ball in their hands in crunch time than Darius Acuff Jr.? How many? Not many.
There aren't many. I mean, and I don't want to actually go through that exercise because he had an unbelievable game tonight. 21 points, 9 assists, no turnovers. He's having a hell of a month of January. Had a huge and one at the end. Arkansas actually had to go on a 6-0 run to ice this game away with a minute left. I mean, Oklahoma had the win in their hands, and it just slipped through like sand. Stanford Steve. This is an Arkansas team. You like every time they go on the road, I know what I'm getting in Fayetteville. I'm going to get a wagon in Fayetteville.
Yeah.
But every time they go on the road, I'm like, what am I going to get? And they got down early. I think this was their largest comeback of the season, 13-point comeback for the Roadhogs tonight. But they win, they cover, all is well in Coach Calipari's world.
No doubt. And the crazy thing I thought about Saturday, and who they beat LSU. But like all these freshmen, DeBonsa and Wagner go for 40 plus, and Boozer has 30. Like no one even mentioned Acuff. He had 31. Like it just what I love about him, and I know Jalen Suggs always got credit for being the football player at the point guard position, and that's a big reason why I love him. You see how well he is in the NBA playing defense. But Acuff's body, man, he's so strong. He doesn't shy away from contact. He's not the biggest dude, but I'll tell you what, a lot more than not, he goes to the rack and he gets his shot off. And that's why I always look at those guys. When they go in there, do they get their shot off? Not only does he get it off, to your point, biggest moment of the game, an and one. The kid's tough. And, Cal, I still believe he does a great job in the locker room with these guys. He'll call your asses out if he doesn't want it. And again, he knows what he needs from his team to be successful. Who has to score? Who has to do what? He's always talking about that. And I think that helps them in instances like this. When you go on the road, like you talked about, Oklahoma had a brutal road swing. Going to South Carolina and losing, and then going to Missouri. And then Moser said that's the first time Mark Mitchell has shot a three off the dribble in his life and made it, and it wins a game from, on the road against you, 2 buzzer beaters, and you lose. I thought Oklahoma was going to be the right side tonight, and they weren't because of Acuff and that team. Cal's got them cooking, man. It's a really fun team to watch, and obviously they shoot it. They're going to be all right, and they scored 83 and 1 tonight. Truly impressive.
The number 0 turnovers for Darius Acuff. 0 turnovers. That's what has blown me away about Acuff more than anything else is his poise, his temperament. A lot of guys right now would be trying to show that they're a top 3 pick, right? Like he's probably came into the season as like a mid to late first rounder. A lot of people are saying he's a top 10 pick now. A lot of guys in his position right now would be saying like, no. Why aren't we talking about me more than AJ DeBonsa or Darren Peterson, who's been in and out of the lineup? And this dude is just, man, he is so smooth, so poised, leadership for a freshman. I love him. Like he has surprised me more than any freshman Keaton Wagler probably surprised me more than any freshman in the country. But Acuff's really blown me away by how mature he's played.
By the way, before we move on, honorable mention, Malik Thomas, 23 points, including the game-sealing free throws. That's another fantastic freshman. Arkansas, doing it the way Cal's always done it, building around those talented freshmen. And it's paying off for him this year. There's no question about that. All right, UConn, they keep trucking, Jeff. It doesn't necessarily look that – I was surprised to hear you call them you had them in your first tier along with Houston and Arizona. And I have to say that given the way that they've kind of been BSing over the last month of the season, that surprised me. They're 10th at KenPom, which I think is a more accurate reflection of who they are as opposed to their number 2 ranking.
They're actually
but not
13th
to you.
now. If you refresh KenPom, which I learned how to do from Doster, because Doster will do it like, during the show, he'll do it like 32 times. They're actually at 13th right now, so you need to refresh your KenPom.
Well, I think that's a more accurate reflection of what they are right now.
No, listen,
but you've got to win it all. You got to come down the nets.
And Dan Hurley, I trust. That's what I would say as much as anything, to figure this thing out and figure out solo ball. And Demery's come a long way, and they got to you just look at what they have, and you say to yourself, like, where's the hole? And Braylon Mullins, obviously coming, he'll be back from the concussion here soon. He's a lottery pick. Terrace Reed is a beast down low. Ryba backing him up. Like, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. Don't worry about UConn, okay? I'm here to tell you, UConn fans and Bobby Doster, don't worry about your Huskies. They'll be just fine.
Yeah, Steve?
Yeah, I totally agree. I have those 3 teams in the upper tier with Goodman. I can't believe I'm agreeing with him, but I am because he's right. When you look at it, you trust in Hurley. Mullins will be back. I thought the Ryba minutes were huge tonight. He goes 6 of 6 from the field, 8 rebounds. I live across the street from Bullis, where he went to high school. I didn't know how that mix was going to work, man. He wasn't the most physical kid in high school. He wanted to shoot threes and show off his game, and I wondered how it would work. And again, credit to Hurley. He's got him cooking. He's provided great backup minutes. You got to think Caravan and solo ball are not going to go 3 for 14 and 5 for 18. 2 of 10 from solo for 3. Yeah. I don't see that happening again. The problem is are they going to get tested enough in this league? They go to the Johnnies in the Garden in a couple Saturdays. That might be it. Like, I just don't see them losing a game. They're too strong. They're too well built. They're too well coached.
Hey, you need to go to that game. You got to go to that game, Steve. I'm telling you.
It's the day before the Super Bowl, Jeff.
All right.
It's the day before the Super Bowl. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm not going to make
What are you doing on what are you like?
I'll be watching
on Saturday?
I'll be watching.
Okay.
Don't worry.
All right. That's fair.
Be across the country.
We got quick toast of the night. Let's do quick toast, Jeff. Starting with you.
I mean, I'm toasting the Indiana Hoosiers tonight. I'm toasting the Hoosiers. They got the win that they really needed. No, like we got to be consistent here. They got the statement win they needed against Purdue.
All right,
Miami of Ohio.
Steve?
Come on. Miami of Ohio, Red Hawks. Watch out.
They deserve it. Hopefully they never lose. Hopefully they all the way. Just and win the 6th in the NCAA tournament as well. We'll see you in Indianapolis. All right, let's just ride this thing as long as we can. Latrell Wrightsell, career high 7 threes. Congratulations, young man. Nice bounce back win for Alabama. They said, we're not taking this no more at home. Thanks for being with us here on SiriusXM. We're moving over to the afters. Stay with us.
These my DJ Burns things I had for us. Taking them into the depths of Alaska and just dropping them off.
The first person that's gonna die gotta be one of the black guys. We're not gonna make it to the end of the movie.
That's like asking somebody, do they want to get a prostate exam or a damn gunshot wound?
Welcome into the afters. John Martin, Jeff Goodman, Stanford Steve with you here on the Field of 68 YouTube channel. All right, we're gonna go to Dag and we're gonna bring him in. What did we miss? This is like the old around the horn bit, right? Where it's like, what we missed in the main show?
All right, fellas. Jeff kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, and kind of games you don't want to lose. And that's Virginia, the double overtime game out there in South Bend.
Yeah, Testa Ritter was awesome, absolutely awesome. But the rest of the team, just okay. I mean, Cole Carter, the kid from Notre Dame, went off tonight, but again, I think part of the thing is you got to get Jakari. I don't know if Jakari White got hurt or what. I was watching on a third screen through most of the game, so I didn't have the sound on, but he only played like 5 or 6 minutes, and he's critical. He's coming back from that injury a couple weeks ago, so They're going to need him back. Virginia, I think people got a little carried away about Virginia in the last week, and they were great in the first half against Carolina, and then they choked it away. So I think this was big for them because they lose this one, you're dealing with some real adversity there, right? Second half, they were terrible. You piss away that game against Carolina, and then you lose at Notre Dame, especially even if it goes to like second overtime, you lose. And then it's like, how do you handle that? So they needed this one bad.
They got a chance to stack up a ton of wins too now. You go to BC, you got Pitt at home, Syracuse at home, at Florida State, Ohio State, I believe that's a neutral site, at Georgia Tech versus Miami versus NC State, and then you go to Duke on February 28th. They should have a great February.
Yeah, Goodman, I got to say, I was just more impressed with Notre Dame in this one. I mean, isn't that what we do here?
Sure, we can do that. I don't disagree with that. I actually don't disagree with that.
Scrappy. I think they're scrappy. It's not an easy job in 2026. They're scrappy.
You're without Marcus Burton, who's probably done for the year. I mean, I don't see him coming back now. I think he'll get the red shirt. Well, why would you come back? What's the point, right? Yeah. You can make more money, get another year, get the red shirt, and make some more.
No, he ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, and he should. That'd be bad advice. So, and I'm sure, Young Money, APAA will help him there, or whoever it is.
Oh, yeah. They give great advice. Yes.
Hey, they got it done for Darian Mensah, didn't they? Mm-hmm. He's getting what he wants.
Is that who? That's who repped him?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, Duke got, their money out of it, I'm sure, but he's getting to go where he wants, and Miami's going to be a contender again. So we'll see. All right, Dagan, what's next?
All right, next is Alabama getting a big home win against Missouri. Bediako, 14 points. I know he's obviously been the big talking point for the last couple of weeks.
He sure has been. But as John said in his toast, as big as anything was Latrell Reitzel, because he's been hurt all year. He has not shot the ball well at all. And I think he was like 7 for 10 or something like that tonight. So having him back, and now you're one piece away from being whole. Well, depending on what happens with Bediako. But I said this I've said it for like the last week, 10 days, is with the addition, if they can keep Bediako eligible for the rest of the season, I think Alabama is a legit Final Four team now. They have the best perimeter in the country, bar none. And they're without Amari Allen, who I still think is their most important player. Obviously LeBaron Fallon is their best offensive player. Amari Allen is their best all-around player. And he's still out. He should be back, I would assume, in the next week or so. But, yeah, I thought Reitzel, it was 7 for 10, 21 points tonight. And I'm curious to know your thoughts of this. But I haven't heard your take on the Bediako thing at all, Steve, and how much I don't know. I mean, I don't like it. I don't like any of this, but I understand it. If I'm Nate Oates, it's like, hey, I'm paid to try to win titles here. If I can get the kid, why wouldn't I get him?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it's been 2 years since he played. Like, that's the one thing that struck me. He was on the 23 team. And then, when he says, we're going by the law or how he worded, I was like, you don't have to do this. Like that's what he made it sound like. So then you have the ordeal that the NCAA stepped in, and talked about, having that judge step down because he's a donor and that whole jazz. But I don't see how it stops if guys are going to get guys that help them. Like, this was the first one that really said, I was like, Bediako, I was like, he's a good big man. He's going to help. That's exactly what they need. And I went to watch Alabama practice when we were down there during College Game Day. I think it was middle of October, or end of October.
Yeah.
And you could tell just talking to Nate, like, he was still trying to piece together everything, lost some guys, brought some guys in. And it was just where last year he knew he had an expectation he had to get, withhold. And that was, getting multiple wins in the tournament and hopefully more. But this year it was more like, all right, we got to figure out how we're going to go this. Obviously, LeBaron is going to be the guy, but as far as X's and O's and style and the way you go about things, he's as good as there is. So I just look at it as I don't see until it gets stopped. I continue to see guys do it if they need help on a roster.
Well, that's the problem, right? Wasn't part of Charlie Baker's statement, wasn't it like, well, if they sign an NBA contract or a two-way, or obviously they play an NBA game, they are not eligible. Well, this kid signed an NBA contract, right? So he's playing. So what's next? If Charlie Baker's trying to say, well, if they played an NBA game, like some point, somebody who's played in 5, 10, 20, 50 NBA games is going to try to get eligible.
Yeah, that's where it gets hairy. My question in the big picture, as far as the college game, how does the committee handle this? You know,
Well,
like
depends,
is there an asterisk?
Right? I mean,
is there an asterisk before Bediako and after? I don't like.
If he gets
what about
ruled
teams that beat him?
ineligible.
What about
You're
teams
saying
that
if he
beat him?
gets
How do you
ruled
rank those
ineligible?
wins?
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really hairy.
Well, I think he's saying even if he doesn't. I think he's saying even if he doesn't get ruled ineligible, like how do you weigh Alabama what they were before and after he arrived?
Like Tennessee going down there Saturday was a hell of a win.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think one thing that people don't understand with the committee, and I'm actually going to go in a few weeks, they're doing that mock selection thing that they used to do. I guess they're bringing it back. So I'm going to go, and that'll be probably the biggest question that we all talk about there.
Do you have to petition to go or you get invited?
No, I actually somehow got the invite. I mean, I don't know how.
Did you?
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You've already revealed your overall number one.
When I heard Norlander was also invited and going, I was going to say thanks, but no thanks, because he's just going to talk the entire time. But with
you're a
Bediako
mute. Like you're a mute.
Yeah, I'm not even going to get a word in. I mean, I'm just going to eat. I'm just going to ask, where's the food? Keep it coming. And I'm just going to absolutely stuff my face the entire day. But, yeah, I think what people don't understand is everybody's going to have a different –
Yes.
You know, you're talking about 10 different people in the room, and they all might have a different way of looking at this situation. Yep. So it's not like one common – theme about like, well, all right, well, here's how we're going to look at it. I think everybody's going to have a different opinion on how they deal with this situation.
Agree.
Yeah, no question. And by the way, it makes me think about the James Wiseman, weirdly. And I know it was a different time, but he got the TRO from a Shelby County judge, and they absolutely hammered Memphis in 2019 for that. I mean, he got suspended for 12 games. I don't know what – I guess everything changed, quite honestly, since 2019 with the NCAA. But it just kind of makes me think about all those cases because he was one of the first that I could recall, like that he was playing on a TRO. You know, he played 2 games, and then
he played 2 games up in that Oregon tournament. Was that right?
PK 80.
Right?
Yep.
PK 80.
Yep. And then he sat because they were like, "Oh, never mind, we don't want to do this," and then he quit. And then, Memphis still got hammered, so didn't do much good. Anyway, different time. All right, what else?
I'm glad we
could
talk about Memphis. I'm glad we could talk about Memphis on this show.
We had to revisit the glory days of James Wiseman's 4 games.
They were so glorious.
It was the highlight of the Penny era. All right, Dagan, what else?
All right,
we're going to
go through some go ahead, Jeff.
We should have Stanford Steve pick new coaches at spots. Go through all the jobs, and Stanford Steve is going to be we'll do it at the end of the year. Stanford Steve can be the search firm later in the year.
And got to find the right fit.
He's already doing this to us now. He's trying to crowdsource everybody in our group chat on these open jobs, and he's going to take credit for the names and give nobody credit. So I think it's disgusting what he's doing.
Definitely not you. Definitely not you.
Yeah, well, I'm keeping mine close to the vest. What else we got?
Stay out of that one. Stay out of that one.
You're hiring Ryan Miller for every single job. Ryan Miller, every job that's open, he's
got a big one tomorrow against Illinois State. There's no doubt about it. Laying 3 at home on a losing streak, gotta have it.
All right.
What's next, Dig?
I'm getting in here. We're going to go quickly on some chat questions. James Bond in the chat wants to know who wins the Big Ten regular season.
I'm going to go Michigan now. I just feel the best about them, right? I mean, they're going to lose. They'll probably lose Friday night in East Lansing. I mean, that's going to be a tough game. But I just think Michigan's still and I haven't looked at their schedules down the stretch here for the last month, but I'll take the Wolverines.
Michigan, Nebraska, Sparty, and Illinois are all 9-1. Illinois is 8-1.
Yeah.
Purdue's now 3 losses. That's 2 games back. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Yeah, I agree with. Again, I can't believe this. I'm agreeing with Goodman. Michigan.
Yeah, well, you learned some things on
it's
the show.
I mean, it's kind of hard to pick anybody else right now. I mean, Michigan, that was a massive win for the Big Ten race tonight. Like
huge.
So,
yes.
You kind of look like an idiot if you're like, I think Indiana's going to do it.
It's a good win for the Big Ten, too, because ultimately you might have got another, like if Purdue ends up getting their act together, that's a statement, maybe a resume win that ends up getting Indiana in to the first 4 or something, maybe even, as a 10 seed at the end of the day.
What's the over-under on Illinois-Nebraska Sunday? There's going to be some points in that one. Wow.
I mean, I would assume it starts at what, 165?
I was going to say that's probably the number. I think Miami of Ohio went over again tonight.
Had to. It's 80. Interesting. 76-74 Ken Palm.
Is that refresh?
That's playing a little slower.
Let me refresh. Let me refresh here.
You should.
Yep,
yeah,
and it's the up to the minute. Up to the minute, man. Steve, we don't need to open up a sports book because if we hang that at 160, we're getting absolutely hammered.
Yeah, we just got to have a blackjack table. Good to lose all his money there, so we're good.
No doubt about that.
That's
especially if Doctor's near me. There's a new rule, Steve. There's a new rule. He can't not only can he not play at the same table as me, he can't be in the same room anymore. I'm not kidding. Ask Dagan about this.
He's a cooler like that.
The worst. No, it's the.
He's a cooler. Doster is a cooler.
Dr. Doster is the worst.
Yeah, that's not good for Spaz Goodman at the table.
No, it's really not. It's really.
It's all about energy at the blackjack table. You know what I mean? You got to have and then you got Doster over there sulking because he lost 4 hands in a row.
Does he have his medium T-shirt on?
Yes, the schmedium's on.
Yeah,
it's bad. It's bad.
I know how
he's talking about how great UConn played tonight. They won by 6 against Providence. Kim tried. It's just a downer.
Can we get the video? Do we have the video of Dan Hurley talking about Kim English? Do we have that available or no?
Yeah, we do right here.
Just really impressed with with how ready Kim had his guys here. I mean, just coming off of that just excruciating loss at home. Just speaks to I think just Kim's quality as a coach and. A lesser coach and a coach that wasn't, going to be a star in this business doesn't come in here with his team as ready as he had his team to play today. Coming off the loss they had over the weekend and the way that transpired. So just, tip of the cap to Kim. The guy's going to be, a star in this business.
Jesus.
Steve,
it's a little much.
You got anything?
Something's going on there, and
Yeah.
I wonder.
Is he recruiting him for his staff next year? Is that what's happening?
No,
okay.
I don't think so. I think he wants him to stay. He wants him to stay at Providence.
Oh yeah, That was
The one thing I was thinking about, Jeff, was the kid that's going to Arkansas, Abdu Torre from Notre Dame and West Haven in Connecticut.
Yeah.
his final 2 were Arkansas and Providence. And, like, he's the first, I think, that player in Connecticut that's been worthy of a big-time scout. And, like, something happened there. And I noticed that Providence was still at the top of the list. And, you know, people will always go back to Calhoun with Ryan Gomes and that press conference. But I wonder if something was said along those lines in the recruiting. That's the only thing I could think of.
I think it was clear to me that Dan Hurley was just blowing smoke up Kim's ass. And basically it was just like, hey, because he knows. I mean, he knows. We all know this is probably it for Kim English at this point. I mean, it's going to be hard for him to save his job after losing to Georgetown the way they did, right? Mm-hmm. The way they did last game, you can't do that. So, I think it was a matter of Dan Hurley basically saying, I would love Kim English to stay in this league.
And what's crazy is I was out on the road for the playoff in football and watching games on a Saturday. And I was like, wow, Providence is – when they went to the Garden and beat St. John's, the Vox kid. I mean, this Duke, Jameer
Jones.
Jameer Jones. I mean, he can play.
Oh, he can go. He can go.
Dallin talked about it on the broadcast. He's like, their problem's not offense. They got plenty of offense. They don't want to bend their knees and play any defense. So that's where the issue is, and that's where you saw from Saturday. Get some stops, and they couldn't do it against Georgetown.
Dagan, anything else?
Yes, I got one more for you, fellas. Stormy Cyclone in the chat wants to know what's going to be the best conference tournament this year. I'll open it up to all conferences if you want to give a shout out to a major conference or something.
I'll shoot Douster down with the Big East right now because there's no way that's going to be tough.
No way. So I'm choosing right now. I'm actually trying to figure this thing out right now, and.
By the way, it's very rarely the Power League tournaments, right? Because like half the teams don't give a shit is the problem.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you on that.
I'm still partial. I think I love that week more than the first week of March Madness. I really do, because of how many games we get and those teams that are at their wits' end. Like it's their last chance, and that's where I think, John. I know what you're saying. Where, your Big 12, it's like, all right, we're in the quarters. How much farther we got to go? Whereas you got a team making a run in the SEC tournament that's, this is it. That's all they got. And it's great. I'd got to say Big 12.
That's where I'm going to go. I'm choosing between I've been told that the seating arrangement is a little better than it was 2 years ago when I had to
you were upper deck?
I was in the hockey. Yeah, we're in the hockey press box. I had to pay for seats for every session. So I'm not doing that again. I'm not. No, I'm just – I mean, I know I sound like a spoiled media person.
Yeah, you are. So that's what you are.
They didn't even have Diet Coke. They had like some knockoff soda in the media. It was rough. It was a rough go being at Big 12.
I'll give you a dark horse. ACC.
Agreed. It's going to be much better.
That thing could get flipped upside down, man. It really.
Well, you're going to have some coaches, and you're going to have some coaches fighting for their jobs there as well. But I think here's where I go with the Big 12. You're going to have the number one team and probably the number one overall seed. You're going to have A.J. Devonta and Darren Peterson, hopefully, if Peterson's healthy by there. So you're going to have those two. You're going to have Houston and Iowa State, Texas Tech. All capable. I mean, Arizona, Houston, Iowa State, BYU, Kansas with Peterson, Texas Tech. That's 6 teams all capable of going to the Final Four, right? We would agree?
Yes.
And then you'll have beyond that, there won't be a whole lot other than some coaches coaching for their jobs, right? Like Bobby Hurley probably done. Probably, Johnny Dawkins coaching for his job at that point. Wes Miller probably done unless they go crazy there. But there'll be some storylines that way as well. So I just think the top 6 there are going to be awesome.
Yep. The league I love watching the most, other than the American, of course, which is the highest level basketball in the country.
Is that in Memphis again?
No, they won't give it to Memphis. They refuse.
Is that in where do they go to that?
Is it in
I think it's in Birmingham. Birmingham, yeah.
Birmingham. Yeah.
All right.
Memphis kind of puts in like a half-assed offer. They're like, we want it, kind of, and then they're like, you don't even want to be in this league. You're not getting anything. I would say the SEC is the. Go ahead.
No, I was like, for like the offer they tried to throw when they wanted to go to the Big 12.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a real offer, though. That was a $250 million, Steve, with more corporate sponsorships. So, let's get back to the table on that. If you can throw any weight around, because we're absolutely fucking dying in the American, which we appreciate ESPN carrying. That's the only redeeming quality about that league. It's literally the only one. But the league,
we have
I like
studio shows on our air.
That's right. That's right. It gets a real professional.
Why can't you get in the studio? Why can't it be Greenberg and Stanford Steve in the studio? I don't understand this.
Well, I moved to DC 6 years ago, Goodman. So.
Still, you can't go up for a cameo? You can't go?
No. I gotta stay. I'm with Scott. I'm bunkered down.
All right.
I couldn't. I just got my street plowed today after 72 hours of snow.
Yes.
Hey, it's tough down here in Charleston too. It was like 46 today.
You're so soft. You don't even go to games anymore.
Oof.
Remember when Goodman used to go to every game? He doesn't even go to games. Now.
I was supposed to go yesterday. I was going to drive to Duke. I woke up. I checked out the weather in North Carolina. I saw some videos that there were no plows in North Carolina. I was like, I texted Shire, I'm not coming. And you know what he texted me back? You're soft. Good. That's what he said. Yeah, that too. Probably good too. Yes.
Yeah. Any love for the SEC though? I mean, my God, think about how many teams could win that tournament.
Yeah.
I mean, it's right up the road at Nashville. Great venue at Bridgestone there. I was there last year for I think a day or two. Great city to spend a weekend in. Obviously, not this one, but most weekends. Yeah, so I would say the SEC tournament because you have 7 to 8 teams. I think that would be capable of winning it.
Hey, Dave,
no doubt.
I have one more question for Stanford Steve before we roll out of here. All right. No, it's a serious question. It's a serious question. Why do you think Bill Belichick didn't get into the Hall of Fame on his first ballot? Now, I have some. I had to deal with Belichick a little bit years ago in press conferences, and I will say this: I've never hated dealing with anybody more than listening to him. So you wonder, and it's petty. I'm not saying it's not, but I do think when you treat writers that way and they have a chance to screw you, I do think it's human nature. Do you think that played in at all, or was it the cheating part of it, or what do you think it was?
Well, here's the deal. The guy Mike Sando writes for The Athletic, used to write for ESPN. Awesome. I know he's on the Hall of Fame. He's a voter, and he's on Twitter and broke it down, which made a lot of sense to me, and I think people should go read it. Is you have 50 voters that each pick 3 of the 5 guys, right? Okay. And people, to your point, people are going to have preconceived notions, right? About, hey, when the day comes, these are all, for the most part, all old school people. When the day comes, we're gonna stick it. I also think the idea of Kraft being up for it too hurts, but I don't see how
it's crazy.
The best NFL coach I've ever seen. I get everybody's issues with him.
I can't stand
I get it,
right?
But winning the success and winnings,
stupid.
I don't understand how they could do it, because I thought he would be one on everybody's ballot.
He has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it is so petty if that's what they're doing. And again, I can't stand him. But he might be the greatest coach of all time. How do you not have him as a first ballot Hall of Fame?
And I've had issues with this Hall of Fame. I'm not anybody. I'm not a voter. I'm not old enough. But go across the board, the Basketball Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame, these Hall of Fames are just getting way too. I mean, imagine trying to predict that. If you are like, oh, Belichick's on he's minus 500 to be on. Nope, you lost. What?
Right. What the hell happened?
It's probably longer than that, right? I mean, it might have been minus 5,000. I mean,
should have been. Right.
And nobody. And by the way, the worst part is nobody wants to take credit for the fact that he's not a first ballot Hall of Fame. Polian's like, I don't know what happened. Right. I don't know. Right. I wasn't, so it's like nobody wants to take credit for that. So
you didn't vote for him, dude. Bill, just say it. You didn't vote for him. Come on.
Right. Steve, before we get you out of here, Super Bowl. I don't think we'll have you on before the Super Bowl. You have a side. You got anything going in this one? You betting this one?
Just like no one was betting the Broncos in the AFC Championship, they covered. And I will take the Patriots to win on the field because I don't think anybody's going to bet that.
You don't?
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
I think the Patriots win the game on the field. Yep.
Pat's money line.
The whole recency bias of what they look like and then what Seattle looked like that stuff over 2 weeks, it just keeps getting said. And that could be New England did exactly what they needed to win one football game. It just happened to be an AFC Championship. And
ugly.
Vrabel's an all-timer.
He's so good.
I still can't believe Tennessee fired him. I don't know if Memphis people root for the Titans. I don't know how that works in the state of Tennessee.
It's a complicated history.
I believe. That's why I'm not trying to put you in any corner at all.
Thank you for tiptoeing around that.
But Patriots money line. I believe they win.
Listen,
we can't let that happen.
Before we sign off, appreciate you coming on tonight. Always. Yeah. We'll do it again.
I appreciate you guys, man. We're listening all the time. Scott and I on our way home, we're trying to catch that last 20 minutes on Sirius, and then we fire up the YouTube when we get home. You guys are doing an unbelievable job. Nobody covers the sport like you guys, and we're in that time now where everybody's jonesing for the fix of college hoops, right? Everybody wants to learn everything. Everyone wants to know the new players, and the product is good. We got a hell of a weekend coming up. We just had an unbelievable weekend for them to showcase. I think credit to all the conferences. I believe they did a great job in scheduling, like knowing what the aftermath of football is, and like look what we had last weekend, and even like I thought Grant McCaslin did a great job of just shouting out the people that needed to be involved to get that game. Like when we were there for football, the idea was like that was going to be game day, and they needed all that, and then you have a all-time storm come in, and just to see that thing get put on and Lubbock show out the way they can. It's one of my favorite places in the country, and
those fans are bananas.
They're awesome,
those
man.
Fans in Lubbock, people don't understand.
Awesome.
I mean, again, the greatest game atmosphere I've ever seen. Greatest may be the wrong word to use. Hostile was Chris Beard coming back to Lubbock. I've never seen anything like it. I don't know if we'll ever see anything like it again. It's awesome.
Jeff, they played Sam Houston State on a Friday night before the Saturday game against BYU, and I went to it and went to Grant's office the day of and just, shooting the shit. And I mean, he's as good of a dude as there is in the sport. Honest, the whole deal. And he puts me on the floor, and every single person within a 4-seat radius is like, man, I wish you could have been here the night Beard came back. I said, I know a guy that was there, and he told me it was an all-timer, if not the best.
It was the best I've ever been to.
So,
if you gave me a choice of that game or Duke Carolina, I would choose that game. It was just epic.
Lubbock's the best, man. It really is.
Well, Steve, you're the best, man. We appreciate you coming on and spending some time with us. And thanks to you guys for watching and obviously like, subscribe, and continue to tune in here to the Field of 68. We'll be back tomorrow. So for Jeff Goodman, for Stanford Steve, I'm John Martin. Have a great night.